what is going on in your day today? Like, what is your daily life like?
Oh, dude, it was an amazing day. I woke up around 5 a.m. and just had the intention of spirit inside me that's just like, dude, you got to keep writing your book. So I'm writing a book on the second half of my apprenticeship down in the Amazon from 2002 to 2005. So I wrote the first book last year or 2 years ago. It's on Amazon. It's called Medicine versus Sorcery. And it's about the real Amazonian practices. It's about indigenous practice and tribal practices that have been going on for thousands of years. And I was one of the first, foreigners to be allowed into blood lineage and taught in the same traditions as they teach their own children and grandchildren. And so, I was writing that book this morning and actually finished the final chapter of it. So, just dropped to the end and we're getting it to the editors. And then, just working on Blue Morpho and our reopening. We were running solid for 19 years. We were one of the first dedicated healing centers to real Amazonian plant medicine practices, including ayahuasca, as well as other visionary plants, plant dietas, really the core of the traditional practices. And we opened that up to people from around the world in 2002. And we were one of the, thought leaders and first forward-facing faces in the space. We got a lot of publications and stuff about what we were doing. And then, we ran strong for 19 years and then COVID shut us down. So we had to take a short hiatus, but we didn't go away. We just regrouped and tried to improve every aspect of what we're doing. And now we're implementing all of that, looking forward to this October reopening.
But what was life like before you really went down Amazon and really got opened up into the other reality?
Yeah, life, through the university was adventurous for sure, but still really held inside the box. So I traveled around the world, which I thought was interesting. I studied anthropology, which, was really about the study of people. And I was really interested in both, ancestral anthropology and then also cultural anthropology. So I had this, very long historical context to what I was looking at, but then also living cultures. And, I noticed through those studies that most of the living cultures had some kind of plant medicine use or some kind of psychedelic plant medicine, visionary plant medicine use. And, so I thought that was fascinating, but it didn't really have during that time a key role in my life. And then the year that I graduated from the university, I had a spontaneous spiritual awakening. It just happened. It just went from there was no spirit in my life to spirit is everywhere. And I could see spirit and spirit communicated with me and I could communicate with spirit. And, it was just real. And so that is actually, what took me first into shamanism. I turned to shamanism as a way to try to understand the experiences I was having. And I had enough knowledge from studying it as an outsider to know that there was something really aligned between what people had written about and what I was experiencing. And so that got me to look to shamanism. And then when I looked at it, there were practices that just made sense to me. It was like I was remembering something instead of like learning something for the first time. And so I quickly learned how to go into trance. I quickly learned how to, communicate with spirits. And then I was literally told I was going to go to Peru. This was in 2001. I was told I was going to go to Peru and that I would find an apprenticeship. I didn't know in what kind of shamanism. I was just told, go to Peru and in 90 days, you'll find your apprenticeship. And so I went, I didn't see that any way out of it. So I went to Peru to look for the apprenticeship and I ended up finding it between day 70 and 80 on my journey. And I was out in the middle of the Amazon in this, pretty much kind of like the last inhabitants of a big part of forest before it just became uninhabited forest. And it turned out that a real elder, an 86-year-old elder, lived there in that community. And so I was guided to him. He ended up becoming the shaman that accepted me into the lineages. And it all started from there.